If you have any influence in any area of your life, you are bound to receive bad feedback, and bad feedback hurts. So in this video, we're going to talk about why bad feedback feels so bad, what are bad ways to deal with bad feedback, and lastly, a simple 3-step framework on how you can integrate bad feedback in your life that helps you grow. Welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Milan, and this channel is all about growing our leadership so that we can live a life of impact and contribution in our worlds. And one thing that gets in the way of living such a life is that we don't integrate bad feedback and we try to avoid it. So when I got promoted to be a head of sales, I thought I must be really good. I got promoted at age 29. I was responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars, had a team of 8 people scattered all across Asia Pacific. I thought I must be really good. Well, after 6 months, I received bad feedback, and suddenly my whole self-image was shattered. And from that point forward, I tried to avoid bad feedback, and it stopped me from growing. So if you want to prevent that from happening to you, I invite you to watch the entire video. Why does feedback or bad feedback feel so bad? Well, human beings are the most social of all species. That means our brains are hardwired to always ask 2 questions. Number 1, am I safe? Am I physically safe? Is there any threat? And number 2, do I matter? Do I belong in my community? Because those are 2 key questions that determine whether we will survive or not. So when you receive a bad feedback, so your brain will answer these 2 questions probably with a no. When your boss gives you bad feedback in your performance review, you may realize, oh, hang on, my job might be on the line, my financial security and safety might be out of the window, and I don't matter as much as I thought I did. So all your survival instincts start to roar and get into action, and that's why bad feedback feels so bad. People generally deal with bad feedback in one of 2 ways. The first one is the one that I did. I avoided it. I call this the minimization strategy. I tried to avoid the bad feedback, I tried to get away from it, and I stopped asking for feedback altogether, and it stopped me from growing. The other bad way to deal with bad feedback is that you maximize it. You think that this is the absolute truth, this bad feedback, and you stop doing anything new, you stop trying, you just give up because their feedback must be true, must be right, so you just give up. What's the point in trying? Minimization and maximization are both ways for you to stop growing. Before I share with you a simple 3-step framework on how you can integrate bad feedback into your life, I invite you to look at feedback in a new way. Feedback is never bad or good. Feedback is just data. A friend of mine, she is a data analyst, and her job is to take huge amounts of data and connect them in a way that they tell a story, so that the management can make better decisions. So if you see feedback as data that helps you tell your story of growth, you're on a much more empowered path to growth and leadership, path that I should have taken when I was head of sales, by the way. So here's the 3-step framework on how you can take that empowered perspective. The first step is appreciate. The person who's giving you the feedback took out some time to give you the feedback, which is great. They could be talking behind your back, they could be gossiping about you, and they're actually taking the time to give you feedback. So appreciate them. Thank you is the only legitimate response to feedback. Second step, reflect. Get curious. What is the 1% truth in the feedback that you receive? Even if you disagree with most of it, what's something that you can take for you to grow? And then go to friends or family or colleagues that you trust, your coach, and ask them for their input and their perspective on things, and see what you can learn from that. If it is a pattern that emerges, maybe there's something that you can try to do differently. And that leads us to step number 3. Once you identified what you can do differently, you act. The 1% truth upon the pattern that emerges, and maybe you invite the person even that gave you the bad feedback on how to improve, and invite them on your growth journey so that you can grow your leadership. If you do that, appreciate, reflect, and act, your chances are very high to avoid the minimization or the maximization strategy on your path to growth, a path that I wish I had taken back then. If you like this video, it would mean the world to me if you like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. And you would probably also like the video that I did on growth mindset and how to spot a person with the growth mindset. So see you over in the next video.